Welcome to Unbiased. I'm your humble host, Will. I'm back at you with another video. I took some time off for a little bit, but now I'm back and I'm ready to go in. Before I get into this video, can you please like, share, and subscribe, and also leave a comment as well. I will respond back to your comment. Please make sure that your comment is, it's not a bad comment or, we're not talking about anybody bad, things of that nature. Make sure it's respectful, and I will respond back. All right, so let's get into the video. This video is about Nick Saban. I got some people that my name. They've been going after Nick Saban, but a lot of the college football landscape are attacking my old coach. He's retired, and he's trying to he's trying to fix college football because there's a lot going on in college football. A lot of people are not liking what's going on, but they're not doing anything about it. They'll sit behind a microphone or a screen and complain about it, but when it's time to do something, they don't want to do nothing. But they'll sit back and still say, man, they can't, why they're not doing this, why they're not doing that. But Nick Saban took it upon himself to try to fix it. He knows he has a voice, so he's going to Washington, D.C. to try to speak his voice, right? And these people that I'm from the lane, LeVar Arrington, who's a former linebacker, a Hall of Famer in Penn State. Now he currently works at Fox News, Fox Sports News, and he's on a radio show. And he's talking bad about Nick Saban. I'm finna get to him. And Rob Parker, who also he runs a radio show called Odd Couple. And I listened to it. I listened to him talk bad about Nick Saban. And his co-host also, Kevin Washington. I don't know anything about him. I do know he replaced what the other guy that used to be on the Odd Couple. I can't remember his name right now, but Kevin Washington is the new co-host. He's also backing up Rob Parker. Then you got Shannon and Chad Ocho. You already know what Shannon Sharp got going on, but I'm not here for that. But anyway, I'm going to address what they said about Nick Saban, though. All right. They was talking about Nick Saban for being a hypocrite about the players not getting money. I don't know what video they ever watched or ever heard. That video doesn't exist. Or whatever columnist that got Nick Saban to quote unquote speak on players not having, or he didn't want players to get money. He didn't never say that. Nick Saban always said it, even when he was coaching, he was advocating for players of getting money or getting paid. He always said that. And I'm from Birmingham. Yeah, I'm a little bit biased, even though this show is unbiased. I am a little bit unbiased because I'm a diehard Alabama fan. And Nick Saban was my coach, right? But I ain't never heard that man ever say that he didn't want no players getting paid. Never, ever. So I don't know where they get this narrative from and where they came up with it, and they pushing it. They just been pushing it for a while now. And I don't understand why y'all doing that, man, like that, because that man never said this. So first of all, it's a lie. That man always said he wanted his players to make all players to make money. He always said that of their name, image, and likeness. That's what Nick Saban was saying. But he also said, if y'all gonna go away from name, image, and likeness, which y'all have done, he said y'all going for pay to play. Y'all paying players to play. And Nick Saban's okay, that's what y'all gonna do. He said, but it has to be a cap on it. Then they like, oh, why I gotta be a cap? Y'all pushing college football to be something like the pro level. Y'all trying to mimic what the pros do. NFL, they have structure, right? College football don't have any structure. We don't have any. The NCAA is supposed to be an entity that's over the entirety of college football, but nobody respects the NCAA because they always taking their ass to court and they're winning. So whatever NCAA says, they just do the opposite of what the NCAA does or say. It's not like that in the NBA. It's not like that in the NFL. You can't go against the commissioner. You can try, but most of the time you're not going to win, right? So y'all trying to say, well, the players can make money. They can make money. Nick said y'all can make money. He said it has to be a cap, and he wants guidelines of what the players should be making. Nick had a problem with a high school player who's a 5-star prospect or a 4-star, coming into his office and saying, "Coach, you're gonna give me $5 million. Here's what you gonna give me: $5 million a year." And Nick said, "I'm gonna give you $5 million for what? You haven't proved that you can even play on this level." For one thing, that's what Nick always said. That's what he's about. Now, if you got on the field and you prove to him that you belong in the SEC and you're all American, Nick gonna give you your money. He gonna give you the money. But he said you gotta have a guideline and a baseline. The NFL has that. They have a baseline for rookies. Because you remember, if y'all remember, LeVar Arrington, Shannon Sharp, Chad, all these guys have said that. They didn't like the rookies making all this money coming into the league because they haven't proved anything. They haven't proved anything that they able to play at this level. That's what they were saying when they was playing. Because rookies used to make a lot of money. I think Sam Bradford was one of the highest paid rookies they ever came into the NFL, and they came up with that rule on him because he ended up being a bust. But he ended up getting paid a lot of money when he first came into the league. Right? So now y'all contradicting yourself because y'all saying, "Oh, yeah, it shouldn't be a salary cap on how much the players make." But y'all said it need to be a salary cap on what the rookies make in the pros. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, Nick Saban is dead on to this. He's right. I said it too. I'm not going to be, if I'm a booster, I'm not going to be paying my money to a school or for a player that hasn't proven himself and to the league and just in D1 that he can play in the SEC. The SEC is a hard level. It's probably, to me, it's the hardest level because the Big Ten, even though the Big Ten has won 2 national championships, well, 3 national championships in a row now. From top to bottom, Big Ten is not better than the SEC. Are they top heavy? Yes, they are top heavy. But you can see from the middle onto the bottom, they're not comparable to the SEC. And their fan bases show it too. Because even at Mississippi State and Auburn, who are right now at the bottom of the SEC, they still sell out their stadiums. It's still hard to go in there and beat them. You see what I'm saying? And they still believe every year they got a chance. Now, a school like Purdue or a school like Minnesota, a school like Wisconsin used to be good. They're not good anymore. They know their season's over before the season starts. They know it's over. Right? But okay. But let's get back to the players. Nick want these guys to make the money. He just want guidelines. And then he's correct about the transfer portal as well. These players playing 4-5 years in college football and they able to transfer to school every year. That's not good for college football either. So they're going back to the rule where they can just do one transfer. And I'm cool with that. And also when Nick Saban also said, he was like, the tampering. The tampering is going out of control because they know these players can leave at any time, in a point in time that they, feel slighted, they can leave. Right? So other schools jumped into it, and I know recently they're getting at Ole Miss for stealing one of the Clemson players. But this has been going on for the longest. And probably going to continue to keep going. But it has to be some type of regulations, some rules about tampering as well. And they need to be harsh so people that stop people from doing it. Because I'm also a UAB fan as well. And Trent Dilfer, who got fired last year, and I'm glad he got fired. But the one thing he advocated for, Trent Dilfer used to be the head coach at UAB. People that don't know, for the Blazers. He used to say that our players used to get approached all the time at smaller schools, and nothing was being done about it. And he was hot about it. He kept saying it in the media, in different interviews. He was hot about that stuff, and he didn't like it. So people didn't really care about him, what he was saying, until now you got Clemson. Dabo Sweeney was not, getting mad about his players getting approached. Now people are realizing, man, hey, it's getting out of hand. It been got out of hand. Nick Saban been said this shit got out of hand. And right now, he's trying to get something done about it. So I applaud Nick Saban for trying to do something to get this done. A lot of players, coaches, commissioners, whoever else, administrators are not trying to do that. They just want to keep it going. But at the end of the day, what's should have been happening since they started this NIL stuff, they need to hold players to contracts. If y'all want to do the pro model, go to the pro model there for contracts. Sign players for a year or 2 years or 3 years or even 4 years to a school and let him honor that contract. Now, if he want to get out of that contract, he get a buyout. The coaches got buyouts. You know, I know not for LeVar, I don't have his clip, but he did say one good thing about the coaches making a lot of money. And that is absolutely right. Coaches are getting ridiculous contracts. And that's kind of helped bankrupting a lot of these schools as well. Yeah, they got to come up with all this money to fire a coach and hire a coach. And their salaries are just, humongous. But at the same time, I don't like what they're doing with the other sports, the Olympic sports, the women's volleyball, what else they were saying? It's non-revenue sports. We're not making a lot of money. They're getting rid of those sports because they had to pay the players a lot of money. They got to pay these coaches a lot of money, and that's what's going on. And it keeps going higher and higher and higher. And that's what Nick was saying, because he was like, how much you have to pay for a player? It's ridiculous, because you're paying a whole bunch of players like Ohio State and LSU. They're getting $50 million, spending $50 million on a roster. And Ryan Day's making a lot of money too. I think he had like $12 million a year. So they're trying to bring that number back down. They try to even it out, which is not going to be even, because some schools make more than others. But the Big Ten and the SEC, well, the SEC, all conference teams supposed to make the same. Nobody supposed to make more than the other. But we all know where really go behind closed doors. Who got money? Who don't? Who don't have the money? But I'm looking at the G6 schools who are not making money, how they're gonna cease to exist. And then you got some schools, which I was finna touch on, in the Big Ten, who are not making a lot of money, which is like Rutgers. I think Rutgers was in the media, was in the news last year or the year before last. That was in the red as far as revenue. Man, they in the Big Ten. And I know they ain't the only school who are not making any money. Purdue's probably not making any money. Northwestern probably not making any money as far as football, because their schools are not winning. And now people are not coming to the games. So how they going to spend 20, 30, 40, $50 million on a roster when they're not even winning? And people not coming out and supporting the team. So that's what they're trying to reel in, because these schools, who are big schools, are going to cease to exist. When it comes to football and basketball, they're going to cease to exist. And these are big schools. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're trying to get something done, because at the end of the day, they trying their best to hold off that Super League shit, where it's going to be Big Ten, some of the Big Ten schools, because all of them are not going to join. They're going to get the top end Big Ten schools, and some of those schools out the West, like Oregon, USC, who do have money, they're going to leave, and they're going to join the schools in the South. And that's going to create a Super League. And the people don't want to see that. And I'm from the South. I don't want to see that, because that's destroying college football that I grew up on. Like I said before in other of my videos, that college football was local. It started out as a local sport. The South teams play the South, the West play the West, the Midwest play the Midwest, and the East Coast play the East Coast. Now you got the East Coast playing the West, all in the same goddamn conference, and this shit don't make any damn sense. They're ruining the sport. That's what they're doing, because they all doing money grabs. right? But with these other people who I named, Kevin Washington, Rod Parker, and LeVar Arrington, they was talking about the players not getting all their money because they saying Nick is not an advocate of it. He always have. That's a lie. But they also left out the media is making a lot of goddamn money too. They've been making a lot of money for years, decades, off the players' back as well. And they forgot to mention it because all these people are not in the media. And they making money. Shannon Sharp making a lot of money. Him and Ocho making a lot of money. LeVar Arrington talking about college football, Fox Sports, him and Brady Quinn. They making a lot of money. If they wouldn't be doing it. So don't sit there and just talk about, oh, the coach is making a lot of money. Well, the player can't make a lot of money. And Nick Saban did not say that. But y'all leaving yourself out there. Y'all making a lot of money too. ESPN making billions. Fox making billions. Billions of dollars off these players. So that's my take on this. I haven't read the bill. I know they're still coming up with the bill. I don't know when they're going to vote on it or whatever. But it's sad that they had to bring the government in to try to save this shit because people who was in charge destroyed it. They just ruined college football and continue to ruin. And the media is ruining it too because they doing it as a money grab. Everybody getting money. It's a money grab. And they can't reel it in. So the government is going to try to come up with some guidelines and factors to try to save it. Because right now it's getting out of hand. And like I said, I hate it to get this bad because it's getting rid of Olympic sports. And even though I never played Olympic sports, but I do love track. You know what I'm saying? I used to run as well. I'm still a runner. I get out and run. But I don't like them running, getting rid of the Olympic sports. Even though I'm not really into swimming and gymnastics and like I said, volleyball. But the people who did that, they care about that, real hard. So probably should get rid of it. And the people who LeVar and all these people who were talking about it on their podcasts and shows, like they didn't care about those people. And these be the same people. If the shoe's on the other side, they'll be hollering about it. They'll be like, man, that ain't fair. Why they shitting on us like that? Volleyball didn't do anything to nobody. These non-revenue sports didn't do anything to nobody. They didn't do anything to football. But football has gotten so way out of hand that they're killing their sports. And that's not fair. That's not fair at all. And I agree with Nick Saban about that. That ain't right. Y'all know that ain't right. And to me, I'm so smart about it. I look at it as a worldview. It's like the haves and the have-nots. The haves don't care about the have-nots. They don't care whether it's fair or not. All they care about them getting money and getting money and getting more money. That's all they care about is getting more money. They don't care they got to shit on the have-nots. They don't care. So they also shows their true color about people. LeVar Arrington, all these people, like I say, I named, they don't really care about other people. If you did, you'll be advocating for the same thing Nick Saban is saying, for the non-revenue sports. Shit don't make any sense, bro. Shit don't make any sense. And these supposed to be our leaders. Some people, analyze these folks, put these people on top of a pedestal, which you shouldn't do. You shouldn't do. They're going to let you down every time. These folks living fake lives. Shannon Sharp living fake lives. He telling everybody he this, he that. And when we turn around, we see he doing something else. You know what I'm saying? You can't analyze these people, man. People fake. People fake, bro. Every day we realizing that these people are fake. Every day. Every day. But all I want in my sport, I want everything to be fair. We all need to be under the same rules and regulations. and we'll just play football off that. You know, that's how I want. I don't want no more expanding. I'm tired of the expanding. I'm tired of that too. You know, every time you turn around, Big Ten expanding it is. You know, they got 18 fucking teams in their league. They don't need any more. SEC got 16 teams in the league, and all of them don't even play each other. We don't need to expand anymore. What they need to do is fix their transfer portal. Well, I know they don't going to one, but they need to change the date on it and let that shit happen at the end of the fucking year when no more games are played. Then the guys can transfer, go where they want to go. The girls, when they do their basketball thing, they can transfer and go where the hell they want to go. If they tired of playing with the school that they're playing with, they can transfer. They have that right. But transferring at the end of the year and still, right before the playoffs start, and then teams who made the playoffs, they players leaving, then they finna play a first round playoff game. They ain't got no depth. That don't make any sense. The NFL, they want to go back, like I said, they want to go back to the pro model. Well, the NFL has free agency and trades that do happen, which I know college football is not going to do any trades, but at the end of the year, when the season's over, they do the free agency. They have a set time for free agency where players can go wherever they want to go. They need to do the same thing with college football. At the end of the year, when no more games are played, NBA does it, hockey does it, Major League Baseball does it. College football need to do it. College basketball need to do it. It'd be fair. It'll make sense. But that's all I got on this video, man. I'm tired of these folks talking bad about Nick Saban. And they need to tell the truth and the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Y'all making money too. I ain't seen none of the media people giving up money for their schools. They're hopping on the coaches. I do agree with the coaches making a lot of money. I will say that. But the players, I'm advocating for the players. They do need to make their money, but they need to be a salary cap. Because this shit done got out of hand. That quarterback that was in Washington, he getting paid pretty good money. He'll finna leave to get more money at LSU. But he forgot he just signed a fucking contract at Washington and told them folks that he was staying at Washington until somebody from LSU, it might have been the LSU coach, called him and said, hey, we got more money. And he'll finna up and leave. You just signed a fucking contract. You can't up and leave like that. And now what happened? His ass still in Washington. Can't make this shit up, bro. Can't make this shit up. They gotta reel this shit back in. This shit got out of hand. Just is what it is. But I'll catch you on the next video.